Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning and a very warm welcome to World This Morning with Fahim Bangush. And joining me today is my co-host and a wonderful person, Naila Shuja. Naila,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful as always. Thank you very much. How are you enjoying the weather?
Oh my God, it's a little too cold for me, and it's
It
only
is.
November.
It's only November.
It's only November,
and,
guys.
Yes, it does get a bit difficult to get out of the bed in November
God.
and December and January. It gets
And February.
more and more difficult
more
with each
and more
passing day.
difficult. Totally.
But the thing is that we're watching, due to increased pollution, due to increased wastage, due to increased industrialization, we see there is smog, there is global warming, there are a lot of problems which need to be addressed on a very urgent basis, emergency basis. But now, of course, moving forward with the program, I think we would move towards the top stories for today. And talking about that, well, Namira Salim, first Pakistani astronaut, called on His Excellency Dr. Arif Alvi, President of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and presented him with the national flag that she flew to the space. Namira is the first Pakistani to go to space aboard the Galactic 4 mission on the Virgin Galactic on the 6th of October 2023 from Spaceport America, New Mexico, USA.
Now, Fahim, did you know that she's a staunch advocate of encouraging young women and all Pakistanis to explore areas of technology, science, and math? I mean, what an inspiration.
That is truly an inspiration, and she's one of the list of many Pakistani women who've made Pakistanis and Pakistan proud in the whole world, because Pakistan is misconstrued as a country with only terrorism and nothing else. But these are the women who are producing an image, who are giving out an image to the world that Pakistan is much more than that. The youth of Pakistan is much more talented than that, and there is a lot more which needs to be discovered, which needs to be explored.
Not to mention, I'm so sorry, I'm cutting
Yeah.
you off, but did you know that she's also the first Pakistani to have reached both the North and the South Pole? And not to mention, she's the first Asian to skydive over Mount Everest. I mean, how, like, she is an adventurer, and I wish I had courage.
Yes, we do fall short of words when it comes to this. Naturally, we do have very talented people, and they need to be discovered more, highlighted more as far as media is concerned, as far as social media is concerned, definitely. And people should draw more and more inspiration from people like these. And now, without further ado, I think I would like to introduce our guest, our esteemed guest, which will be who will be here in our first segment. We have none other than Vice Admiral Retired Ahmed Saeed Hilal Imtiaz Military, and currently he is the Director General, National Institute of Maritime Affairs, Islamabad. Sir, thank you very much for coming here. What an honor for us for you to be here.
Thank you very much inviting me over for today. I think it's a great honor for me to be part of this very lovely program in the morning.
Thank you very much, sir. It's truly, it's an honor for us too. But now, before we move on with further discussions, we have a little video as far as the International Maritime Conference is concerned, which was held very recently. Let's take a look at the highlights of that. And these were the highlights of International Maritime Symposium that you were witnessing on your television screens. Now, sir, coming back to you, you've been in the Navy since a very long time now, and we would like to know, as lay people, how it is, the life of a Navy person, the life of a person who spends his almost more than a decade perhaps in the sea, on the sea, and how is that life different from what we're living? Because we do not have any idea about the challenges, about the positive effects, the negative effects on the overall health of a person who's in the Navy.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this is a kind of question which is oftenly asked to the naval personnel. First and the foremost is the environment, which is entirely different. Like on the land, you have a stable platform. So, once you are at sea, your entire body actually keeps working against the environment. The platform is moving, your body is moving and trying to adjust. Then, as I have been into the submarine service, so we go underwater. So, we do not have the sunlight as well. So, we are into the coffin and a kind of environment which is controlled. So, there the problems of human endurance comes into play. There are certain psychological problems also, these kind of things.
Absolutely.
So, it is a pretty challenging, I would say. That is the reason I think in our religion also, anybody who endures these difficulties at sea, and the reward is 10 times than what is on the land for the battle. So, that is exactly I think the ratio of the difficulty one has at sea.
Because they say the sea is quite unforgiving when you venture into it. But then again, when we see on television the beauty of what lies within the sea, it's absolutely amazing, really. Now, sir, coming to the point when we talk about economy, the sea economy, the maritime economy, and now we're talking about and we're hearing the term blue economy off and on different platforms. So, sir, first of all, I'd like you to highlight the difference between maritime economy and blue economy.
Okay. The use of sea resources and the land resources for the benefit of humanity has been in vogue since the human life came into being. But at that time the resources were in abundance. But of late, once the industrial revolution came into play, so middle of I would say the 19th century, the realization started coming into play that the resources are actually we need to look into it in relation to the well-being of the human being also. So, in 1972 the first conference took place in Sweden, which is called the Sweden Declaration, where first time the humanity and environment was grouped together and they put across certain recommendations that we need to look into this. Then came the Rio in 1992, then came the Kyoto Protocol, where the rise of the sustainable development goals came into play. First it was millennium, and then it was translated in 2015, it came into play as a sustainable development goal. The key difference between the two is now on 3 pillars. It is social, it is economical, economy related, and the environment. In all these 3 domains, sustainability is the key. For social side, we need to change our habits to a responsible human of this planet, so that we do not increase the greenhouse gases and we do not pollute. Plus, we do not exploit the resources to a limit where it starts reducing. So, second is the economy. Again, economy at the moment, the profitability is being questioned. How much profit? So, that means there is a responsibility not to degrade the ecosystem. So that is the part which is being played now. So all the big players, those who are exploiting the resources, especially at sea, for them it is a compulsion that you need not to disturb the ecosystem. And last is the environment. So greenhouse gases is the predominant factor which is being battled at the moment. But beside that, the pollution at sea, mangroves growth, the coral reefs, the fisheries, and all these systems are now being gauged under the SDGs, that is Sustainable Development Goals, started from 2015 and now it is going on. So this overpowering responsibility and sustainability, once we see the maritime economy under this lens, it is taken as blue economy.
Right. And also, sir, like you were mentioning the social aspect of it, and you said people need to be made more and more aware. We do see in, especially, I will talk about Pakistan before going anywhere else, that's our home. We see people littering here and there without even caring a hinge about the economy, right? Rather, the environment. Now, how do we change the mindset of such people? Because we talk about it, yes, but what about the implementation? We do see that there are trash cans available, people don't throw there. It's also in coastal areas, there are trash cans available, people are going to throw in the sea. People don't really care. There is a need to create more and more sensitization because, like I often mention, there are so many documentaries which talk about how we as humans, although we have been made Ashraful Makhluqat, yet we are doing the exact opposite. We are spoiling our own home, we are spoiling our own planet. So what should be done in order to sensitize the people more?
I think as we oftenly say, the charity starts from the home. So similarly, the realization of this very aspect starts from the home. If we within the family start educating our family members that we have to be responsible in terms of using all the resources which are at our disposal in our home, like nothing should go into the trash can, any eatable should be consumed. That is one of the thing which we. Secondly, we should say no to single use plastic. That is I would say contributing more than 50% of the total trash which we are producing.
And the trash which is going into the sea, the fish or the aqua or the marine life, they're consuming it,
Exactly.
the microplastics.
It's on both sides. Once we bury it on the land, again it is
somehow washing into the ocean.
It gets decomposed into microplastics, and similar it happens at sea, and then it gets again into our food chain and comes back onto our table.
It's a vicious cycle.
Exactly, and it is harming our health and future generations also. I think this thing needs to be looked into, and then of course for the awareness, the kind of programs you are doing, I think that's marvelous. Schooling level subjects to be introduced on these issues, so that a public awareness comes into play. At a social level, again we need to group together in organizing trash collection and its disposal.
So it starts at home, and then it goes to school, and then as a young adult, it is a practice that you need to keep implementing in order to make the world a better place, especially your own world.
And to add on to that, I remember that I once participated in back in my school life, I once participated in a program where I was part of a group which was littering, and we were talking about global warming and pollution. Okay, that is done at school, sir, but what about including it in a way in the syllabi in such a manner that it becomes a sort of an urgent thing in the minds of the young generation that this is to be done, there is no escape, and it has to be done. Should the government be doing more in that regard too?
Yeah, now we come to the higher level that you're talking about, the policy. Now this is the policy area where our institution works. The National Institute of Maritime Affairs, it works in the policy domain.
Right.
So, we are doing, like I give you an example. Last time Senator Sherry Rehman Sahaba, when she came into our World Environment Day,
Mm-hmm.
so there we had put across this issue of say no to single use plastic. So, she went back, did a legislation before the assembly dissolved, she put it in the assembly and it was legislated.
Yes.
Now, it is good that but it has to be practiced now. To my knowledge, where I have been to different hotels in Islamabad, I have seen it is being religiously followed, but at lower level it has not
It's not being
transcended,
followed.
it has not been
Yes.
implemented. So, the implementation mechanism has to come into play. The in the shops, they need to be given some alternate for this. The material which is biodegradable, they can use that. In India, they have started off, one of their young scientists, he has produced biodegradable material from the haystack, the thing which is being burned for Lahore and all area.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
these kind of things, I think new ideas, use of renewable energy and these kind of things together will bring holistic change.
It's
Now,
just-
coming
yeah.
to the National Institute of Maritime Affairs, what are some of the aims and objectives for those who don't know?
Okay. National Institute of Maritime Affairs, being a think tank, has two different, I would say, functioning. Number one, it is the premier think tank in Pakistan in maritime affairs, which is working in policy domain nationally and internationally as well. So, this is the only single think tank. Secondly, apart from interacting the policy makers and making new policies, suggesting to make new policies, reviewing the old policies and calibrating if it is required with respect to some international new laws.
Obviously, policies need to
Yeah,
be evolved.
that three aspects we keep looking at. But another part is there are think tanks and another category is think do. That means those who do certain things also, other than the policy, go into the implementation phase also. So, in some of the areas we have gone into consultancy also. That means whatever we prepare, so we provide a consultancy and supervisory role, so that to ensure it comes to the logical conclusion.
Excellent.
Lovely. And also, sir, since we're talking about the environment, since we're talking about plastics, also there is a certain area called recycling where the world is talking about it. The world is talking about recycling each and everything that's even in your house. There are many short videos that you can watch on YouTube where they're telling you how to recycle the different things in your house which are usually thrown away. But what about ships, since you've been in the Navy, the green ship recycling industry? Could you tell us something about it?
Yeah, this is again under the realization of this very fact that the ship, once it is disposed of after its endurance life, that is normally 25 to 30 years.
Right.
So, once it is disposed of, so the way it is disposed of, it is creating an environmental issue. So, on this perspective also, there are legislation started coming into play. There was a Basel Convention, then came the Hong Kong Convention, on which then it became a mandatory for all the countries, those who have this recycling industry, they need to install those practices, so that the entire ship is taken as 100% recyclable commodity. So, nothing is wasted and thrown into the sea, which is hazardous. So, there is a list of things which needs to be taken care of. If there are cables, if there are paint, if there are asbestos or some kind of other things. So, all these things needs to be taken care of.
So also the Gadani ship recycling industry, could you also highlight some of its contribution to the economy of Pakistan?
Yeah, it's very important industry. It has been flourishing since creation of Pakistan. We are blessed with a kind of coast where the ships can come and naturally beach. the depth gradient is such that we don't require much of the effort.
I see.
So, this used to be the Asian biggest shipbreaking industry, and which was contributing about 30% of the iron ore towards our different industries. So, we have about 120-30 yards which are working together there. But of late, because of this very aspect, in 2015 when the Hong Kong Convention came into play, so in Asia it is India, Bangladesh and Pakistan. So, Pakistan used to be number 1, then was the India, then was Bangladesh. But now they have ratified Hong Kong Convention and they have gone into the green practices, whereas we did not. We missed the bus, and because of that, now our industry has gone number 3. Number 1 is Bangladesh, second is the India, and third is our. And we are now reduced to our capacity about 20 to 30% we are working now. That means 70% it has reduced. And in days to come, that means in 2024 or 25 beginning, this is going to be a compulsion, and we will not have any ship coming to our ports if we do not ratify this. So, our institution has been in forefront. We took up this issue and we worked with the Norway embassy as well. We worked with the IMO, and you will be glad to note that 2 days ago we had the IMO training session in Karachi for 3 days. There was a conference, and under the patronage of Maritime, our ministry MoMA, Ministry of Maritime Affairs, and SAPM, who is the special advisor to Prime Minister, Admiral Rao, he was there, and it was a very success. And now we are heading for to ratify this, but this will be a very challenging task, because now we are left with about 1 year.
No,
All right,
that's quite right. Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Pardon me. So I have a reference to something that you've said before, that the National Institute of Maritime Affairs is a policymaker and acts as a consultancy. So when it comes to Pakistan and Pakistan's development, considering the fact that we are moving towards a greater progress, and we're able to see how magnificent the Gwadar port has been developed, and there's so many things being inaugurated and introduced to the world, not just Pakistan but to the world at whole. Now, can you just let me know or give us information of some of the new initiatives that the National Institute of Maritime Affairs is collaborating in, or is that still under wraps?
No, I think Pakistan very rightly decided, because Natural Port Gwadar was there, and we were already working with only the Karachi port, and then we had added one more, Port Qasim. So, these are the 2 ports in which we are working, but now the economy has expanded, we required more ports, and somewhere in early 70s there was a study that where we should have other ports. So, Gwadar was picked up as one of the deep sea natural port which has the capacity to handle this kind of cargo. So, but in the meanwhile the CPAC came into play, because making a port is I think huge money intensive. So, it was decided to group it with the CPAC. I think the right decision, and within that ambit then development started taking place. So, I would say there is a little lag in that because of some security issues. It should have been by 2025 it should be fully operational, which it appears to be a little, I think, ambitious at the moment. But with the help of our Chinese friend, I think pace of work with the present setup has been very tremendously increased. SIFC is working a lot of good work in this regard, handling a lot of projects to be taken care of. So, I am hopeful that the things would be moving in the right direction.
Fingers crossed.
Now, also, sir, talking about the blue economy, how long do you think it's going to take us in order to transition from maritime economy to blue economy? And also, once we do that, since we talk about sustainability, since we talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, how long do you think it's going to take us to be actually congruent with the Sustainable Development Goals? And also the fact that obviously whenever we acquire something new, there are threats involved, right? So are there any threats involved as far as blue economy is concerned?
I think blue economy is now a compulsion. It's not an option. Earlier it was an option, the countries were transiting, but now once we have signed this SDGs, so we are signatory of that. So it has 17 goals, and within 17 goals it has about 169 tasks and about 7,777 actions. Now if you see this in its entirety, now it has come as a compulsion. By 2030, we have to complete these tasks. We have
Right.
to complete these actions. By 2025, right now they have started asking the countries now to produce their progress. And they have started linking your progress with your help now, the funding which you get. If your progress is not good, the funding is not going to come. So that we now it is a compulsion. That's the reason I am saying. And secondly, funding is not going to come those projects which are hurting your planet. That means if it is creating pollution, if it is creating some ecosystem disturbance, so money is not going to come. So all the projects which will be coming in now, they will have to be eco-friendly, and environmental sustainability factor should be there.
All right, now, so we've spoken a lot about the, maritime affairs. I want to get to know a little bit about you. So, did you always want to be a Navy man? Did you always want to go into the waters?
That's an interesting question.
Let me recollect myself. I think the front end answer is no.
Okay. How so?
Yeah. Why? Because when I was in the college level, I was actually pursuing my medical,
I see.
pre-medical. But at the same time, I was also looking forward to go into the arts, National Council of Arts, Lahore. I had appeared to be there. One of my cousin, he actually went there. We two were fast friends, so we wanted to go there. So in between, as at that time it used to be, the parents, they intervened. They said, the future of an artist and future of naval officer is you need to weigh.
Is not
economically.
certain, yes.
But I don't repent that decision. I enjoyed thoroughly, because about 41 years I put on in the Pakistan Navy, and Alhamdulillah, I rose to the chief of the staff, to the chief of the naval staff, COS. I was number 2 in the Navy with the former chief of the naval staff. So I don't repent on that account. But at the same time, my own hobbies continued along with it. So now I am getting time for that as well.
So, speaking of your hobbies, I've heard that you like to play golf. And
Yeah,
what is your par these days?
I am not very good at, but it's 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely. It's good to have hobbies. It's good to do all this apart from your job. And I'm very glad that you still do it, because there are many people who are so involved in what they do, they don't get time for anything else. And you are an inspiration. You are definitely, people should learn from you, because even myself, I sing, but often I don't get time for that. So yes, I draw some inspiration from you, because definitely, apart from what you're doing primarily, it is a necessity for your mental peace, for your definitely
It's a
mental
good
well-being.
work-life
Yes,
balance, yeah.
and the balance
We,
has to be there.
We
And
in
so
the-
we
sorry, just to cut you a little, we in the submarine service, we say, take a moment to recharge your batteries.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Most
that is
definitely.
for self-accountability also.
Hmm.
So do something which you actually enjoy.
No,
Book
sir,
reading,
it-
playing something.
Gives you time to reflect on yourself and your
Exactly.
decisions in
Yes.
life. Wonderful.
So it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. We're a bit pressed for time, but would like you to be here. And thank you very much for giving us your time. It's an honor for us, for PTV World, that you have come here. And PTV World always tries its best in order to sensitize more people regarding these environmental issues. And since we did that, I think we are a success today, and we will be successful in the future as well, with people like you on board, inshallah ta'ala. But we have to go on a short break, viewers. Stay tuned to PTV World. We have another segment lined up for you. Very interesting. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to World This Morning with Naila Shuja and Fahim Bangush. And we had a very interesting first segment today. We talked about marine life, we talked about maritime affairs with the Director General, National Institute of Maritime Affairs. And right now we're into the second segment where we will be talking about the economy of Pakistan, the remittances of Pakistan, and that guest of ours would be on Skype. I would like to introduce Mr. Rashid Ashraf, Chief Executive Officer, ACE Group of Company. Rashid Saab, Assalamu alaikum and good morning.
Good morning. Wa alaikum salam, and thank you for inviting me.
It's a pleasure, sir. Rashid Saab, now, since we know what Pakistan has been going through as far as the economy is concerned, it has been quite a tough time, quite a time full of tensions for Pakistan and its people and its leaders, obviously, for everyone at the same time. Now, we know that there is a huge group of Pakistani people who live outside Pakistan. Now, they have been sending in remittances. They have been doing a lot as far as Pakistan is concerned. The economy, their contributions are priceless, I must say. I would like to ask you as to what contribution, how important is the contribution of the overseas Pakistanis when they send in their remittances?
Obviously, it's the remittances are the backbone of the country right now, and the exports are so poor. So the State Bank of Pakistan right now is just expecting the remittances. 9% of the GDP depending on the remittances. So we all have to channelize these things in such a way that we can grow the remittances more and build the confidence of the overseas Pakistani. Because right now what happens, because of the negative media which portrayed the Pakistan in such a bad picture in front of the overseas Pakistanis, they get scared, and because of this scary nature, they are reluctant to send the money to Pakistan nowadays. Because if you see, in my mind, when I see the media, everyone is talking about the default, bankruptcy, and there is no electricity, so political. Political distribution. So what we are focused on, that we have to focus on imaging the Pakistan in front of the overseas Pakistani in a right way.
Right, and we also see, and we have seen in the past couple of months, the dollar going down and the Pakistani rupee gaining a lot of strength against the dollar. Now, could you highlight some of the reasons behind how that has been happening? Because we, as Pakistanis, as Pakistani nation, we've been seeing the downward trend of rupee, a continuous downward trend. But now we're watching the rupee gaining strength, the rupee becoming more and more stable.
Appreciating greatly.
Absolutely, and the investors gaining more and more confidence. Could you highlight that for us, please?
The dollars issues, the leakage of the dollars, especially what I recommend is there are few borders, like the physical borders and the financials border as well. In Pakistan, what happens in previous years, your borders across the neighboring countries, we don't have governed it properly. So the leakage of the dollars, the smuggling of the dollars through the physical borders is grown very high. And on the another side, we also talk about the cross-border payments, which we use from the legal channels and transfer the money from Pakistan to another countries. Our controls are not high. So we have to establish we have to introduce a due diligence process towards the banking channel as well, and towards the physical borders towards physical border as well. So in that way, we can reduce and the leakage of the dollars.
Now, Mr. Ashraf, you mentioned that overseas Pakistanis are slightly hesitant when it comes to sending in their remittances. What are some ways that, you know, we can remove these worries from their minds?
The ways is first of all there are social media. This time is the social media time. So the young peoples, they are on the Facebook, they are on the media. But only one thing which when I open the TVs, I've seen a lots of bad news about the Pakistan. And when I open the Facebook, there are lots of discussion about the different group of political parties. They are fighting with each other and portraying the Pakistan in a very negative way. But the only thing which I've seen is the influencers which are sitting on the Instagrams. They somehow they are helping us to portraying the picture of the Pakistan in a better way. When I open the Instagram, I see a lots of happenings in Lahore, Islamabad, and Karachi. The new restaurant chains are coming in, and the weddings are going on, the dances are going on, and it seems like the happy face of the Pakistan. But when I see the mainstream media, it seems like everyone is crying. The banks are going bankrupt, and the country has a very bad image on the mainstream media.
Also, yeah.
So if you guys on a national scale, we need to create a positive image across all the mediums of the media. So in that way, the overseas Pakistanis have become their own confidence again back to their minds.
Also, Rashid Saab, you very rightly mentioned that this has to be done on a mass level. A positive image needs to be projected all over the world regarding Pakistan. But as far as the Pakistani nation is concerned, do you think we need to create financial literacy amongst people by producing such programs in an easy manner, in a language which is understandable to the common man and not using the proper terminology which is used, and so that a common man can understand how he is contributing to the GDP of the country? Don't you think it is the responsibility of the people who know what economy is all about to create such content on both social media and the mainstream media in order to sensitize the people what their country is going through?
Yeah, you are right in that way. And if you see that the State Bank established a PRI in 2009, and they really give a framework of the remittance they introduces the framework of the remittances in Pakistan. With the help of the banks and exchange companies, they approach to the overseas Pakistanis, and they approach to the local people over there for giving the awareness how they send the money legally to Pakistan. In this way, like we have the East Money Transfer collaborated with the Bank Al Falah. They decided to they give the awareness campaigns, the joint hand and bring the awareness campaigns. We bring like the brand ambassadors, Mavish Hayat and the Babar Azam, and market in the UK and the Europe for introducing how the common people send the money through legal channels.
Right, Rashid Saab, the road is difficult, but obviously we have to go with more and more patience and tolerance, because one day I really hope and pray that we get to the point where the people of Pakistan will be proud to say that we belong to Pakistan, a developed nation, a progressive nation, a prosperous nation. Thank you very much, Rashid Saab, for giving us your time and being here on our show.
Yep.
Well, we learned something today, and I hope and pray that as far as the environment is concerned, as far as the finances is concerned, we will go a long way. Pakistan as a nation, Pakistani people, we as individuals will go a long way. And this is our prayer, this is our wish. We hope all the best for each and every Pakistani. Thank you very much for joining us. Keep watching PTV World, and good morning.